Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sophie, and I'm here with Leo. How are you today, Leo?
I'm doing well, Sophie. Thank you. And hello to everyone listening. Today feels like one of those calm conversations we all need sometimes.
I agree. Today's topic is very close to the heart, especially if you're learning English and sometimes feel frustrated or impatient with yourself. We're talking about learning to be proud of small progress in English.
Yes, because so many adults feel like if they're not fluent yet, then they're failing. But that's not true at all. Most progress is quiet and slow, and we often don't notice it.
Exactly. Maybe you understand one more sentence than last month, or you don't panic as much when someone speaks fast. Those things matter, even if they don't feel big.
And if you're listening and thinking, this is me, you're definitely not alone. We've both been there, and we still are in different ways.
Before we continue, if you enjoy these conversations, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us. And don't forget, there is a PDF with the full conversation, so you can read and practice later.
All right, let's get into it.
Leo, I want to start with a question that many listeners might relate to. Do you remember a time when you felt like your English wasn't improving at all, even though you were trying?
Oh, yes, very clearly. I remember studying almost every day and still feeling stuck. I could understand grammar rules, but when I tried to speak, my mind went blank. I used to think, why am I even doing this if I'm not moving forward? It was a very heavy feeling.
I can really relate to that. I had a similar experience when I was learning another language. I studied a lot, but because I wasn't speaking perfectly, I felt like all my effort was useless. Looking back now, I see that I was improving, but I couldn't see it at the time.
That's such an important point. Many learners think progress means speaking fluently or confidently all the time. But progress can also mean smaller things, like understanding a joke or not translating every word in your head.
Yes, and I think one useful expression here is to give yourself credit. It means to recognize and appreciate what you've already done. Many English learners don't give themselves credit for their effort or their improvement.
That's true. Instead, they focus only on what they still can't do. For example, someone might say, I still make mistakes, but they forget that 6 months ago, they couldn't even make a sentence.
Exactly. And mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that you are trying. Another expression I like is step by step. It means doing something slowly, one small part at a time. Language learning really works step by step.
I agree. When I stopped comparing myself to others and started looking at my own path, things changed. I noticed that I could follow conversations better, even if I didn't understand every word. That was a small win, but it mattered.
Small wins are so important. Maybe you ordered coffee in English without feeling nervous, or you watched a video and understood the main idea. Those moments deserve attention. They're proof that something is working.
And sometimes progress shows up in unexpected ways. For me, one day I realized that I wasn't afraid to start a conversation anymore. I was still making errors, but the fear was smaller. That emotional change was a kind of progress too.
That's such a good example. Progress isn't only about language skills, it's also about confidence. When your confidence grows, even a little, it changes how you use English in real life.
Exactly. There's another useful expression here, to be hard on yourself. It means to criticize yourself too much. Many learners are very hard on themselves when they don't speak perfectly.
Yes, and being hard on yourself usually makes learning slower, not faster. When you feel stressed or ashamed, it's harder to speak or remember words. Being kind to yourself actually helps your brain learn better.
I wish more people understood that. Learning a language as an adult is not easy. You already have responsibilities, stress, work, family. The fact that you're learning at all is something to be proud of.
Absolutely. And pride doesn't mean saying, I'm perfect. It means saying, I'm trying and I'm moving forward, even if it's slow. That mindset can change everything.
What about you, Sophie? Was there a moment when you finally noticed your own small progress and felt proud?
Yes, I remember one very clear moment. I was listening to a podcast in the language I was learning, and suddenly I realized I had listened for 10 minutes without stopping. I didn't understand everything, but I understood enough. That felt huge to me.
That's a great example. Many learners stop listening the moment they don't understand a sentence, but staying with it and understanding the general meaning is real progress.
Exactly. Another expression that fits here is to show up. It means to be present and make the effort, even when you don't feel motivated. Every time you show up for your English, even for 10 minutes, it counts.
I love that expression because some days showing up is the biggest success. Not every day will feel productive, but consistency matters more than perfection.
And when learners start to notice these small moments, their relationship with English becomes healthier. It's less about pressure and more about growth.
I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. If you're listening right now, maybe take a moment and ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do now that I couldn't do before? The answer might surprise you.
And whatever that answer is, it's enough for today.
Sophie, when you asked that question at the end about noticing one small thing, it made me think about how rarely people actually stop and reflect. Most learners move forward without ever looking back, so they feel like they're standing still.
That's so true. Reflection sounds like a big word, but it can be very simple. Just asking yourself what feels easier than before can change your mood completely. Even if the answer is something small, it reminds you that you're not starting from zero anymore.
I remember one learner telling me, I still speak slowly, so I'm not improving. But when we talked more, he realized that he was choosing words faster in his head. He didn't see that as progress, but it absolutely was.
Yes, because speed in your head is still speed. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you're scared to move. Then you move slowly. You don't jump straight to riding fast in traffic. Language works the same way.
I love that comparison. And I think many adults expect results that are not realistic. They see short videos online saying, speak English in 3 months. And when that doesn't happen, they feel disappointed.
That disappointment can be really heavy. It can make you feel like you're doing something wrong, even when you're actually doing many things right. That's why expectations matter so much.
Exactly. Another useful expression here is to be on the right track. It means you're going in the correct direction, even if you're not at the destination yet. Many learners are on the right track, but they don't believe it.
I like that expression a lot. Being on the right track doesn't mean everything is easy. It just means your effort is leading somewhere. And sometimes progress is invisible until one day it suddenly feels real.
Yes, like when you suddenly understand a sentence without thinking. Those moments feel magical, but they only happen because of many quiet days of practice before.
And those quiet days are often the hardest to appreciate. There's no applause, no clear result. You just sit with your English, maybe tired after work, and you try anyway.
That's why emotional support is so important in language learning. If your inner voice is always negative, saying you're too slow or you should be better by now, learning becomes painful.
I completely agree. Sometimes learners tell me they feel embarrassed even when practicing alone. That breaks my heart a little because learning should feel safe.
Me too. And embarrassment usually comes from comparison. People compare themselves to native speakers or to someone who started earlier. But everyone's life situation is different.
Me too. And embarrassment usually comes from comparison. People compare themselves to native speakers or to someone who started earlier. But everyone's life situation is different.
That's such an important sentence. Against your past, not someone else's present. When I started thinking like that, I felt lighter. I stopped rushing myself so much.
And when you stop rushing, you actually learn better. Your brain relaxes. You start to notice patterns, phrases, and natural expressions without forcing them.
Speaking of phrases, there's one learners often hear but don't fully understand. It adds up. It means that small efforts, when repeated, create something big over time. 5 minutes a day really does add up.
I love that one because many adults think if they can't study for an hour, it's not worth it. but listening for 10 minutes or reading a short text still counts.
And sometimes even resting counts. Taking a break when you feel burned out can help you come back with more energy. Progress doesn't always mean pushing harder.
That's such a gentle and important reminder. Being proud of small progress also means respecting your limits. You're a human, not a machine.
Exactly. And when learners start respecting themselves, their motivation changes. It becomes more stable, less emotional. They stop quitting and restarting again and again.
I've noticed that too. When people feel proud, even quietly proud, they stick with English longer. Pride doesn't have to be loud. It can be a calm feeling inside.
Like thinking, I'm not fluent yet, but I'm doing better than before. That sentence alone can change your whole relationship with English.
Yes, and it turns learning into a long-term journey instead of a stressful race. You stop asking, how fast can I finish, and start asking, how can I enjoy this more?
Enjoyment is often missing in adult learning. Children learn languages through play, mistakes, and repetition. Adults forget that they're allowed to learn the same way.
That's true. Adults want to be correct all the time, but correctness is not the goal at the beginning. Communication is. Being understood, even imperfectly, is already a success.
I wish more learners celebrated those moments. Like when someone understands them, even if the sentence wasn't perfect. That's a real achievement.
And if you're listening now, maybe tonight you can write down one sentence. Today, I'm proud that and finish it with something small. It could be anything.
That simple action can slowly change how you see yourself as a learner. And over time, those small, proud moments become a strong foundation.
Exactly. And from that foundation, confidence grows naturally. Leo, something you said earlier about writing down one small proud moment really stayed with me. I think many adults feel uncomfortable with that idea because it sounds too simple, almost childish.
I agree, and I think that discomfort comes from how we were taught. As adults, we're often trained to focus on problems, not progress. So when someone says, be proud of yourself, it can feel strange or even undeserved.
Yes, like you need permission to feel proud. But pride doesn't mean you're finished or better than others. It just means you see your effort and you respect it.
Exactly. I once worked with someone who said, if I'm proud now, I'll stop trying. But the opposite usually happens. When people feel seen, even by themselves, they feel more motivated.
That's such an important point. Motivation grows from kindness, not from pressure. Pressure might work for a short time, but kindness keeps you going.
And being kind to yourself doesn't mean ignoring your goals. It means understanding that progress is not a straight line. Some weeks you feel confident, and other weeks you feel lost again.
I think many listeners will relate to that. One day you feel like, wow, my English is improving. And the next day you hear a fast conversation and feel like you understand nothing.
Yes, and that doesn't mean you went backward. It just means you met a harder situation. Your level didn't disappear overnight.
That's such a relief when you realize it. Another useful expression here is to hit a wall. It means to suddenly feel stuck or tired. Many learners hit a wall and think it's the end.
But hitting a wall often means you've been working hard for a while. It's a sign that you need rest or a small change, not that you should quit.
Exactly. Maybe instead of studying grammar, you listen to music in English. Or instead of speaking, you read something easy and familiar. That's still progress, just in a different form.
And sometimes progress is emotional, not technical. Feeling less afraid to make mistakes is a huge step, even if your vocabulary hasn't changed much.
Fear is such a big part of language learning. Fear of sounding silly, fear of being judged, fear of silence. When that fear gets smaller, your world gets bigger.
I remember the first time I spoke English in front of a group. My hands were shaking, my voice wasn't steady, but I did it. That moment didn't make me fluent, but it made me braver.
And bravery is something to be proud of. We don't talk about that enough. Learning a language as an adult takes courage.
Especially when you already speak your native language perfectly. Starting again, feeling like a beginner, can hurt your ego.
Yes, and that's why some people avoid speaking. Protecting your ego feels safer than making mistakes, but it also stops growth.
Another expression learners hear a lot is out of your comfort zone. It means doing something that feels uncomfortable but helps you grow. Speaking English often puts people right there.
And stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be something small, like sending a voice message or asking a simple question.
Those small steps build trust in yourself. You start thinking, maybe I can do this, instead of, I'm terrible at this.
Language you use with yourself matters so much. If your inner voice is kind, learning feels lighter. If it's harsh, everything feels heavy.
I completely agree. Sometimes I ask learners to imagine they're talking to a friend. Would you say, "You're so bad at English"? Probably not.
That exercise is powerful. We're often much kinder to others than to ourselves. Learning to speak to yourself with patience is a skill.
And it's a skill that helps not only with English, but with life in general.
Very true. Another thing I want to mention is that progress is not always visible every day. Some days feel boring, repetitive, or slow.
Those days are part of the process. Just because a day feels boring doesn't mean it's useless. Repetition builds memory.
Exactly. Children repeat the same words again and again, and we accept it. Adults repeat and think something is wrong. It's not.
And if you're listening and feeling tired, that's okay too. Tired doesn't mean weak. It means you've been trying.
I love that sentence. Maybe someone listening really needs to hear it today.
I hope so, because being proud of small progress is not about being positive all the time. It's about being honest and gentle at the same time.
And when you practice that, English becomes something you live with, not something you fight against.
That's beautifully said. Sophie, as we come closer to the end of this conversation, I keep thinking about how many people carry quiet shame about their English. They don't talk about it, but it follows them.
Yes, and that shame often comes from old experiences. Maybe a teacher corrected them harshly, or someone laughed at a mistake years ago. Those memories stay longer than we expect.
And they can make every small mistake feel big again. That's why learning to be proud of small progress is also about healing, not just learning.
I really like that word, healing, because for many adults, English is connected to confidence, work, and self-worth. When English feels hard, it can affect how they see themselves.
Exactly. And the truth is, speaking a second language imperfectly is still impressive. It means your brain is doing something extra, something complex.
I wish more learners could see themselves from the outside. If you heard someone speaking your language with an accent but trying, you'd probably feel respect, not judgment.
That's such a good point. We judge ourselves much more than we judge others, and that judgment blocks pride.
Another useful expression here is to come a long way. It means you have made a lot of progress, even if you're not finished yet. Many listeners have come a long way, whether they realize it or not.
And sometimes you only notice how far you've come when you look back, when you remember the fear, confusion, or silence from the beginning.
Yes, I often tell learners to listen to an old recording of themselves if they have one. It can be uncomfortable, but also surprising in a good way.
Haha, that's true. You hear things more clearly with time. Words you struggled with before sound easier now. That's real evidence of progress.
And evidence is important because feelings can lie to us. On a bad day, you might feel like you're not improving at all, even when you are.
That's why habits matter more than mood. Showing up even when you don't feel confident keeps you moving forward.
And forward doesn't have to mean fast. Slow progress is still progress. Quiet progress is still progress.
I hope listeners remember that after today. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to keep going.
And to pause sometimes and say, I'm proud of myself for this small thing. That sentence can be very powerful.
Maybe today it's, I listened even when it was hard. Or, I spoke even though I was nervous.
I didn't give up. Sometimes that's the biggest achievement.
Absolutely. Learning English is not just about language. It's about patience, courage, and self-trust.
And those qualities grow slowly, just like language does.
If you're listening right now and feeling tired or unsure, we want you to know that you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be.
Take your time, be gentle, and notice the small steps, because one day you'll realize they carried you much further than you thought.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
Yes, thank you for listening and for showing up for yourself today.